All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in. This is Kai Deering with On the Fly with Kai. And I love this. I get to come to you once a week and bring you my tribe and some great best practices. I give you some tips and tricks and hacks for entrepreneurs because it can be a crazy world out there. And these are some of the things that I wish that I would have known before, during, and after getting started with my business. And today I'm so proud to be able to feature a gal that I've had a chance to meet networking at Business Network International. And if you're self-employed, you should definitely consider joining that international organization. And my guest today is actually the president of this organization. She's also a rock star in her field of hypnotherapy, a certified desire factor coach, a master law of attraction coach, and a quantum energy master. And we're going to talk about all of those. But because of all of her success she's had in that practice, she's actually now going to add best-selling author. And she received a Quilly Award as a contributing author for Jack Canfield's new book called SuccessOnomics. And you might know him from Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's got a bunch of different books in that regards. And so I'm just really thrilled and tickled to be able to bring to you Kim Silverman, just another rock star. Hi, how you doing?
Hi, Kai. Thanks for having me. Really honored to be here.
I'm so excited. I'm always intrigued by people because they are always like a dual personality, right? Like I know you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I have too. And in my first career, it was insurance and I was bored to tears. And you are a little bit similar. You had a finance company. And how did you go from facts and figures and all that to kind of what we call maybe more of a woo woo type of a business? Tell everybody a little bit about how you ended up in the hypnotherapy arena.
Yes, thanks, Kai. I get that a lot. People wonder, how do you go from finance to hypnotherapy? That's so different. And it's true. I enjoyed a 30-year career in finance. I was a CPA. I was an executive, vice president, chief financial officer, corporate controller, director of finance. So I was really on the executive corporate America track. And my husband and I actually started our own company. It was a engineering consulting firm, and with that company, had great success. We blew that out internationally. The San Jose Business Journal named us as the ninth fastest growing privately held company in the Bay Area. So we had phenomenal success. But that's about when my life then came crashing down. My husband at age 50 ended up passing away with cancer. And it was just, my life just changed overnight. I found myself as a single mom with two kids. I was running this company. And not only did I lose my partner in marriage, I lost my partner in business too. And so I decided pretty quickly that going to the office and continuing to run this business just was heart wrenching and just too many painful memories. So I ended up selling the business, took a couple years off to be with my kids. And when my son graduated high school, went off to college, and I was now empty nester, I had to decide, what was my next step. And so I did consider going back to corporate America, but that just really didn't calm my heart. I think I was just really done with that. So I knew, because I had had such an extensive career in finance, that I could probably easily do bookkeeping. So I created a company, bookkeeping company, and instantly attracted clients. Like, didn't even have to really try very hard. And so about that time, I just kind of felt like something was missing. And I remembered that while my husband was going through his cancer treatments and stuff, I was connecting with people in a really heartfelt way. And I found myself naturally coaching these people. And many, many people said, Kim, you should really consider being a life coach or a counselor. And so while I was running my bookkeeping clients and handling their books for them, I started looking into what life coaching was. I didn't even know what that was at the time. And one road left to another, and I found myself enrolling in getting a certification with life coaching and loved it. And again, before I even got my certificate piece of paper, I was already attracting clients. And those clients were showing up without a whole lot of effort. And what I realized was when I was doing my bookkeeping clients, my energy would drain. I would procrastinate. It would take a lot of effort to sit down and handle those clients. And that was the finance side. But when I'd get off a 2 hour coaching call, oh my gosh, my energy would rise through the roof. It was so exciting. And I started to really follow my inner guidance that was telling me it's time to give up finance. And so through that coaching program, as I offloaded and started to transition my clients, even though I love my bookkeeping clients, it just wasn't, something I should be focused on anymore. I was then led to also get a certification with hypnotherapy because what I found was some clients were just really stuck. I could coach them, have great success, but they were super stuck, and I needed a stronger tool. And that's when I found hypnotherapy, and I ended up getting certified. And I actually went on to my advanced certification, clinically trained for that. And that was finally the tool I needed to be able to, get people really unstuck that were just not having luck any other way. So that's how I came to be hypnotherapist, and I love it.
There's so much in there too, because like you made your tragedy your destiny. I loved that. And what year did you get your coaching certificate first time?
So I actually hold three certifications. My first one was back in 2017.
Yeah, no, it is true. There wasn't a lot of that going on there. And whenever we're in flow, that is the universe telling you you should continue that path. And whenever there's resistance, you should either pivot, hire it out, or stop doing it. And I know because I've been doing my own bookkeeping for 1 year and I hate it. And I'm like, that's it. I got to hire it out. I'm not into it. So I hear you on that. I love that you picked hypnotherapy kind of as your modality to really be an agent for change in clients. But there's a lot of like misunderstandings of what hypnotherapy is. And I think I was teasing you. I said, are people going to, cluck like a chicken? Are you going to, plant some things when somebody says like a word, you're going to do something strange. And you were laughing because there's a lot of myths surrounding that. Talk to folks a little bit about, what it is and more specifically, what it isn't and how it works.
Yeah, hypnotherapy gets a lot of fear when it drums up a lot of fear because people think of being on a stage and clucking like a chicken, right? So hypnotherapy is not that. You will not find me on a stage making anybody do anything crazy. That's just not me. So, but hypnotherapy, I will say, is real. People ask, is hypnosis real? Well, it is real. Um, and hypnotherapy is just that. It's as it says, therapy. A traditional therapist, you would talk to on a conscious mind level, right? So I would have a conversation with you, and I would talk to you as a therapist, but mostly you would talk about your situation that you're wanting to resolve. Well, hypnotherapy is different because we work with both the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, where traditional therapists will speak on a conscious mind level. Hypnotherapy does both. And the reason that's important is because if you think about it, your subconscious mind is really what's ruling your life and your body. It's the thoughts that you think, it's the emotions that you're feeling, it's the sensations in your body when your heart is racing with anxiety, when you're getting sweaty palms because you're nervous, or it's the feeling of grief, and the anger that comes through. So the subconscious mind is really responsible for your body and so much more that's going on. And that's why it's really important to work with both the conscious and the subconscious mind. So some of the myths around hypnotherapy is that anybody can be hypnotized against their will. And that is simply not true. Your subconscious is your guardian. It will protect you. And so people cannot be hypnotized to do anything against their ethical standards, against their beliefs. When you do a hypnotherapy session, you do not go unconscious. That's another myth that people think, oh, I'm not going to, understand or know what's happening. Well, you're actually awake the whole time. You're in control. You don't go unconscious. And it's simply important for you to be conscious because we're working to align and really connect with your higher self, that inner guidance that you have. You can call it your soul, you can call it your higher self, whatever you want to call it, but that is what we're connecting with, and that is what has all of the answers. And so when we tap into that part of you and allow it to express itself, that's when you get clarity. That's when you get awareness of how to move forward, how to learn from that, how to grow from that. And so hypnotherapy is something that you can use in a lot of different ways, especially for business. When you're dealing with a problematic client or a problematic employee, you can find inner guidance on how to deal with that person. Maybe they're triggering you and you're feeling this really intense emotion. And so it's learning from that and it's letting it go, because when you let that go, when you return back into a centered and calm state, that's when the creative mind takes over. That's when your creative juices flow and solutions become easy and all of your options become numerous. But when you're in an emotional turmoil, you can usually only see one option, if that. And so it's really important to then, readjust and come back. And hypnotherapy is wonderful for things like that.
And I know, so people that are watching us live, you're welcome to make comments or ask questions as well. We can actually see your comments and bring them up on screen. But what exactly, I know you're doing it on Zoom. So what exactly does it look like? Are they laying down? Do they tell you what they want to work on? Like, hey, I want to manifest my ideal client. What is the process kind of from A to Z? Because there is
Sure.
fear around it. What does it look like?
Right. Well, this is where I combine my coaching with my hypnotherapy. My first session is always a coaching session with my clients, and we get down to the real nitty and gritty. What is it that they want to shift, change, transform? What's causing them to have a difficult life or an issue? And so we'll talk at depth, and I might even start doing some processes, some life coaching processes at that point. And then the next session could be a hypnotherapy session. And if we do a hypnotherapy session, I'm able to do all of this on Zoom. In fact, I can do it on a phone. I don't even have to be able to see you. You just have to be able to hear me, and I just have to be able to hear you, because it's all about connecting to your inner work. So it's ideal if the person can lay down. And so we would have the camera on them from waist up. And then they would wear a headset of some sort, because when you're in a trance, you tend to talk quietly. And so it's sometimes, hard to hear people. So it's really important to have a microphone that's close by. And it takes about 20 minutes to guide them into a relaxed state. And it's very similar to if you ever have had experience where you are in bed and you're ready to go to sleep and you're drifting off and you're not quite fully asleep. You're still a little bit aware, but you're not fully wide awake aware. That's the alpha brainwave level. And that's where we guide people into that relaxed state where they're still awake, but they feel very relaxed. And then we would start, I would start asking questions. And so after I've guided you into that very relaxed state, I'll start asking you questions based on what you want to get out of the session. And then depending on the answers that are coming up, because I always guide my clients that the first answer that pops in their mind is the right answer, because that is your subconscious speaking to you. So we are connecting to your subconscious at that point, and we are listening to what is coming up for you. And the whole goal is to let go of what it is that you want to let go of, get some clarity, get some guidance, and then I'll guide the person back up to a more alert state, and then we'll talk about it. And so it's a very comfortable process. It surprises people. It's usually something they don't um, expect, and they always come out saying, "Wow, that was amazing."
So it sounds like, is it like for listeners, because I've done some hypnotherapy and it's really relaxing and fun. So it sounds like, a good way to describe it would be like guided meditation.
It is similar to guided meditation, and I think that's a good way for people who have never experienced it to be able to relate to it. It does go deeper than a guided meditation, and it really depends on how open you are,
Mm.
and how ready you are for change. And people have resistance, and so it does take some letting that go and trusting in the process, but always we are there for their higher purpose and for being able to grow and learn from that.
So if somebody wanted to learn a little bit more about manifesting and hypnotherapy, what are some resources, books, podcasts? What are some of your favorite things that you could share with somebody regarding the subject?
Sure. So a lot of people who are fans of the Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks series. Those are some of my favorite books. Ask and It Is Given is one of the first books that I steer people to who maybe haven't been in this space before. And I think that's a great one. They have multiple books on how to manifest money and how to manifest relationships. So I would definitely point them to that resource. Another resource that I really love is Christy Whitman. Christy Whitman is my mentor. She's my life coach mentor, and she's a two-time New York Times bestselling author. And one of my favorite books with her is The Art of Having It All, because really you can have it all. She talks about how to master relationships and money and career and personal development, and I mean she just covers everything, and it truly is the art of having it all. She has a brand new book called The Desire Factor, and the Desire Factor is now taking the Abraham Hicks work and taking it yet to another level. And so Christy Whitman is a channeler like Esther Hicks. And so this book was downloaded in her channeled form into the information that's there. And so it's jam packed full of great nuggets, and it's all geared towards how to manifest your desires.
And that one, I just want to make sure I'm going to put it in the chat. You Can Have It All and Desire Factor and Christie's with a CH.
Christy, CH, yes, Risty.
All right.
Christy Whitman.
So this is what I'm going to bring it up on screen. So those of you who are watching on YouTube can actually see what we're talking about. So that's the book by Esther Hicks. And then there's the book that she was speaking of as well. So hopefully that will help you, in continuing information in this realm as well. I really appreciate that. And I know you've recently been, speaking of books, you've recently been a best-selling author. I know that's exciting. And you told me a little bit about the chapter that you wrote And Jack Canfield's book. I love Jack Canfield. He's one of my favorites. In fact, I got a picture with him when he came to our convention. He's just amazing, and he's done a lot of work in this too. The Aladdin Factor with Mark Victor Hansen and some other things. I'm a big personal development junkie. So tell us about the chapter. You said it's really neat. It tells you how to just, I'm not going to steal your thunder, so I'll let you tell him what it's about. But I thought it was pretty neat.
I know. I am just so thrilled and excited that I get to be a part of his new book that just came out. The book is called SuccessOnomics with Jack Canfield. It's volume 3, I think, and it highlights secrets of success from different entrepreneurs and professionals. And and my particular chapter is called Empowering Your Way to Emotional Freedom. And it's about tips and tricks on how to move from an emotionally charged situation into a calm and relaxed situation. And by the way, you can do it in 30 seconds. So imagine being in a heated argument with someone and being able to shift your energy and your emotion in just 30 seconds. So I give tips and tricks on how to do that. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of that book.
All right, tell us what's the one thing to calm it down in 30 seconds.
Putting me on the spot, Kai.
Well, they'll still buy the book because there's a lot of tips in there, and there's her chapters in the Jack Canfield's new book titled SuccessOnomics. You got to be careful how you say that, by the way. Yeah. So, are you comfortable sharing one quick tip?
Sure. I give several different, like 4 different breathing techniques, and I also give a process. But one of the breathing techniques, which if you're in a place where meditation is important, or when you need to basically stop the runaway mind, right? Because your mind is running away. You're feeling the emotion, whether it's anger or it could be even grief and sadness, and all that comes up. So whatever emotion is kind of running amok, then what you would do is my favorite breathing technique. Now, if you're willing to try it with me, I'll show you how to do it. Okay. So if you can imagine, bring up an emotion of maybe something that threw you off, that triggered you. It could have been a legal situation that you were in and you just got really fired up because of, and you were working with the lawyers and, emotionally charged situations. So if you can think of an emotion like that and allow it to kind of come up in your body, kind of feel it, remember it, bring in the memory of it. And so when you're in a situation like that, you can close your eyes. And so close your eyes with me. And it's a very simple process. It's called a box breath. And you would breathe in on a count of 4. You would hold on a count of 4. You release on a count of 4, and you hold on a count of 4. So I'll count with you. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Release, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Release, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. That didn't take very long. How do you feel?
Much better. That's awesome. And we could probably use that in a lot of different ways. Like I have trouble sleeping at night because of the runaway mind. So I could practice that before I'm going to bed as well. I think that would be great too.
Yeah. I find it's my favorite breathing technique. I do share in the book, other ones that people can use. And then I go into a process that now that you have that breathing technique, now you can do even more deeper work. But it's a super simple process, and it does bring you back to center.
I love it. Now, I know that, obviously you're a perpetual student, always looking to strive more, do more. What's next on the horizon for Kim Silverman and her practice?
Yeah, you're so right, and that's what I love about you is you're like me in that regards, right? We are always striving to do more and more, and and truly, when you've opened up to universal energy and following your inner guidance, doors open that you just didn't expect. That's how I came to found, the Christy Whitman Foundation. That's how I came to become a hypnotherapist. That's how I became to be a best-selling author. And on top of that, I am now a quantum energy master. And what that means is I've really learned how to master my energy and be able to take that to a new level, because emotions are energy, thoughts are energy, feelings in your body is energy. Our our whole makeup is energy. And when you learn how to master that within the body, you can improve your health, you can improve your mental state for sure, but you can also bring in universal opportunities, right? Opening up those doors to what's next. And with that, I'm taking it to an even deeper level, and I'm starting to really channel that inner guidance, that, you know, channeling my own inner soul and my soul's purpose, and being able to channel my guides, my spirit guides. And through that, it really opens the doors to allowing me to know what's next and what my path is aligning to, and how I can help people, in really opening up their inner wisdom, that inner intuition. So I'm super excited to really open that door, and that would be what I'm looking for. And I might even write another book. I have a few ideas for some future books. So I'm excited about that. It's all good.
Good. Well, I can't wait to get your SuccessOnomics and read some of that as well. But I know that you've just, in closing, is there anything that you would want to share with somebody who maybe is not in the right fit, whether it's a traditional business that doesn't make their heart sing? I was telling you, like, if you don't like it, hire it out. But like, what would be kind of your, quick tip to people that are not in alignment with what they love, and it feels like drudgery when they're making a living and having to do it? I mean, I can't think of anything worse to do for 40 years if you don't love it.
Absolutely. We are not here to be in misery, to hate our life, to, you know, want to just stay in bed. That is not living. And people have the ability to create a life they love. And you can do two different things. If there's something which doesn't feel right, you can look at enlisting other experts to help, right? So if you're not good at marketing, really look at the marketing gurus who can make your life easier. If if you need some financial support, reach out to the financial professionals, and don't try to feel like you have to do it yourself. However, if you're at a point where no matter what you seem or do doesn't feel good, just you're not getting any clarity, then maybe it's time to look at a career change. Maybe it's time to look at a job change. If you're not enjoying the people you're working with, if you're not enjoying the work you're doing, first do your inner work to make sure that it's not something that you need to get more clarity or an awareness, because it's something that you're holding on to. But don't have the fear of making a change. And change can be scary, but it will serve you well if you're following your inner guidance, if you're following the path that is lighting up for you. And those would be what I would suggest people to really hold on to and take action in their own lives.
And I feel like, for obvious reasons, this is not a dress rehearsal. We've seen over the last year and a half, that tomorrow's not promised. So if you're not in flow, if you don't love what you do, make a change. And if you need help, get some help. And so here's a way to contact Kim Silverman, if this is of interest to you, to explore the conversation maybe further. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more, by all means, it's going to cover her face here. So I'm not going to hold this up here very long, but take a screenshot of that and feel free to reach out to her. And she's got her website, a lot of information on her website. So with that, Kim, I know we're out of time. I could probably be here all day chatting with you, but I thank you so much for being on the show, and I just really appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Kai, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Great. Well, hey, everybody, another great episode of On the Fly with Kai. Again, Kim Silverman, appreciate you being the guest here today. And we look forward to bringing to you every Thursday some exciting tips, tricks, and hacks from entrepreneurs. And next week is going to be no different. In fact, I'm really excited. Next week, I'm going to be bringing to you my mentor and really who I've worked with for 20 plus, or not 20 plus, 19 plus years, who's had phenomenal success, went from a out of work surfer to making over $600,000 a year in his profession. And so I think we can learn a lot from that. And so we look forward to seeing you. So with that, thanks again, Kim. Take care, take charge, everybody. We'll see you over the top and here next week. Be sure to tag in your friends in here that need to see this information. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.